You've probably heard it 1,000 times. If you just had more motivation, you'd hit the gym. If you just wanted it bad enough, you'd wake up early. If you just had the discipline, you'd stick with it. But here's what nobody tells you. Motivation isn't actually the problem. And if you're struggling to build muscle, lose fat, or maintain consistency with your training, understanding this one shift in perspective might change everything. So if you're serious about actually making progress, hit that subscribe button, because we're breaking down exactly why the testosterone trap catches so many people and how to escape it. Let's start with something that sounds almost too simple to be true. The real issue isn't that you lack motivation. The real issue is that you're trying to run on something that wasn't designed to fuel long-term behavior change. Think of motivation like a spark. It's bright, it's hot, and it feels incredible in the moment. But sparks don't last. They burn out. And when they do, you're left standing in the dark, wondering what happened to all that fire you felt just weeks ago. You see, there's this pervasive idea in fitness culture that you need to be motivated to take action. That you need to feel pumped up, inspired, and ready to conquer the world before you step into the gym. But this belief is backwards. It's the motivation trap, and it's costing you months and years of progress. Because here's the truth that changes everything. Action doesn't come from motivation. Motivation comes from action. When you actually show up and do the work, even when you don't feel like it, something shifts in your brain. Your nervous system starts to recognize that you're the kind of person who follows through. Your body starts to adapt. Your mindset starts to change. And once that momentum builds, motivation naturally follows. But most people wait for the motivation first. They sit around waiting to feel inspired, and by the time they do, weeks have passed. Now let's talk about what I call the testosterone trap. And I don't mean this literally in terms of the hormone. I mean it in terms of how fitness culture has taught you to think about drive and aggression and raw willpower. The trap is this. You believe that success requires some kind of superhuman intensity at all times. That you need to be in beast mode, that you need to feel powerful and invincible, that anything less than maximum effort is wasting your time. But here's what actually happens when you operate from that belief. You start strong, you're fired up, you hit the gym hard. Maybe you even nail your nutrition for a few weeks. But because you're running on pure intensity and adrenaline, you're also burning yourself out. Your nervous system is constantly in fight or flight. Your cortisol is elevated. You're not sleeping well. And within a month or two, you crash hard. The motivation evaporates. You feel tired all the time. And you end up right back where you started. This is the trap. It's not that you lack willpower. It's that you're trying to sustain an unsustainable intensity. Real progress isn't built on intensity. It's built on consistency. It's built on showing up when you don't feel like it. It's built on doing the unglamorous work day after day, week after week, even when nobody's watching and there's no rush of adrenaline. Let me give you a concrete example. Imagine two people. Person A goes to the gym with massive motivation. They have an incredible workout. They feel amazing afterwards. But they only go twice that month because they need to feel that intensity every time, and life gets in the way. Person B goes to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, but they don't rely on motivation. They just show up. Half the time their workouts are moderate. They're not chasing that pump. They're just doing the work. After 3 months, Person B has done 48 workouts. Person A has done 4. Who made more progress? It's not even close. The second layer of this trap is what I call the comparison problem. You see someone on social media who looks incredible, who's jacked, who's obviously taking testosterone or other performance enhancers, and you think that's the standard. That's what you need to achieve. So you try to train like them. You try to eat like them. You try to have the same energy they have. But you don't know their genetics. You don't know what they're taking. You don't know their starting point. And more importantly, you can't sustain that level of intensity on your own biology. What you're actually doing is chasing an artificial standard based on incomplete information. And that's exhausting. It's demoralizing. And it's why so many people quit. They think they're failing, when really they're just trying to do something that isn't sustainable for them personally. And if you like the insights we're dropping here, hit that like button, because understanding this stuff is genuinely valuable, and it helps push this content to more people who need to hear it. Here's what most people miss about building a sustainable practice. It's not about being perfect. It's not about having the best workouts. It's not about optimizing every single variable. It's about building a system that you can actually maintain for years. And that system needs to be boring. It needs to be sustainable. It needs to be something you can do even when you're tired, even when you're stressed, even when you're not motivated. The people who make the most progress aren't the ones with the most intensity. They're the ones who've built habits so solid that motivation becomes irrelevant. They don't wake up thinking about whether they feel like working out. They just work out. It's what they do. It's who they are. And that identity shift is more powerful than any amount of motivation could ever be. Let's talk about how to actually escape this trap. First, you need to redefine what success looks like. It's not about having an amazing workout. It's about showing up, period. If your goal is just to be the kind of person who goes to the gym, then going to the gym is success. You don't need to set a personal record. You don't need to feel pumped. You just need to show up and do something. That's it. Second, you need to remove the friction from your system. If you have to think about when you're going to work out, what you're going to do, what time you're going to go, whether you're motivated enough, then you're creating friction. But if your workout is at the exact same time every single day, if your routine is the same, if you don't have to think about it, then the friction disappears. You just do it. Third, and this is critical, you need to stop chasing the high of intensity. The pump isn't the goal. The progress is the goal. And progress happens slowly, invisibly, through accumulated effort over months and years. It's not dramatic. It's not exciting. And once you accept that, everything changes. You stop trying to have the perfect workout. You just do the work. Fourth, you need to understand that motivation is a lagging indicator. It follows action. So you don't wait to feel motivated. You act first. And as you take action, as you build momentum, as you start to see small wins, motivation naturally builds. But it builds because you've earned it through consistent effort, not because you found some magical inspiration. Here's something else that's critical. Your environment matters way more than your motivation. If your gym bag is sitting by your door, if your workout clothes are laid out, if everything is set up to make it easy to go, then you're more likely to go. But if you have to dig around, if you have to think about it, if there's friction, then you won't. This is why people with systems beat people with willpower every single time. Let me be clear about something. I'm not saying intensity is bad. I'm not saying you should never push yourself hard. What I'm saying is that hard days need to be built on top of a foundation of consistent, moderate, sustainable effort. You can't run on intensity alone. It doesn't work. But once you've built the habit, once you've built the consistency, then you can layer in intensity. And when you do, it actually works, because you're not trying to sustain it forever. You're just adding spice to something that's already solid. The testosterone trap specifically catches high testosterone, high drive personalities. These are the people who are naturally intense, naturally driven, naturally want to go hard. And their superpower is that drive. But their weakness is that they often can't maintain it. They burn out. They get frustrated when they're not always at maximum, and they quit. Meanwhile, someone with a lower natural baseline of intensity, but who's built a solid system, just keeps showing up. And the slow and steady person wins the race. This is true in every area of life, by the way, not just fitness. Whether you're trying to build a business, learn a skill, build a relationship, write a book, whatever it is, the people who win are the ones who figured out how to make it a system, not a sprint, not a motivation-fueled rampage, a sustainable system that they can maintain for years. Now let's talk about what happens physiologically when you actually break free from this trap. When you stop trying to run on pure intensity and start building consistency, your body starts to adapt differently. Your nervous system downregulates. You sleep better. Your cortisol comes down. Your recovery improves. And ironically, you actually build more muscle, lose more fat, and make more progress because you're not constantly in a catabolic stressed state. And here's the beautiful part. Once you've built 6 months of consistency, once you've shown up 250 times, even when you didn't feel like it, motivation becomes almost irrelevant. You're not relying on how you feel anymore. You're relying on your identity. You're the person who works out. That's not negotiable. That's not dependent on motivation. And at that point, you've won. The last thing I want to leave you with is this. Your motivation levels will fluctuate forever. Some weeks you'll feel incredible and pumped. Other weeks you'll feel flat and tired. That's not a personal failure. That's just biology. Your hormones change, your stress changes, your sleep changes. And when you're building your system, you need to account for that variance. You need to build a practice that works whether you're motivated or not. That's the only way to actually make consistent progress. So here's what I want you to do. Don't wait until you feel motivated to start. Start now. Go to the gym today. Do one workout. Doesn't matter if you feel like it. Doesn't matter if you're pumped. Just do it. And then do it again tomorrow and the day after that. Build the habit first. Let the motivation follow. Because motivation is a passenger, not the driver. You're the driver. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you start making real progress. Thanks for watching, and if this hit home, please subscribe to the channel because we're breaking down mindset and fitness truth like this all the time. And drop a comment below about your biggest struggle with consistency. Is it staying motivated or is it something else entirely? I read every comment and I genuinely love to hear what's been your biggest barrier. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.